Hey, Espo.
Foul on Espo.
No respect. No respect. Psychos and sickos unite for, yes, a bittersweet edition of PHNX Suns postgame show, of course, presented by Bet365. Download the Bet365 app, use code PHNX365, deposit 10, place a bet for 5 and get $200 in bonus bets. I'm Eric, that's Steven, we got Espo, and of course, the freckled Mamba beyond the Mac, making all of the magic happen, but none of the magic happens without all of you in chat, hitting that like button, hitting that subscribe button, becoming members today, and of course, our audio listeners watching on YouTube after the fact, as the Phoenix Suns have now moved to 4-1 in their last 5 games, 500 on the season, snagging their first road victory on the year. Of course, it comes after a brutal first quarter injury from Jalen Green, but nonetheless, the Suns proved what they have proved before Jalen Green played, and that was that they can win without him. So it was a good game. It was a good win. There was a tough moment off the start, but this team really fought through it, and I'm impressed with the entire team tonight.
Oh, guard depth. Grayson, Colin Gillespie, Jordan Goodwin out there giving you some minutes. This team we knew was deep in the backcourt. They've weathered some of the Jalen Green storm early in the season. They're going to have to do it again, but I mean, they're 4-1 in their last 5. They're 3-1 essentially without Jalen Green playing because they don't really count tonight as that. So they can do it without him. They're going to have to. And they got Dillon Brooks back, which is a big part of it as well, and that helped out tonight also.
You mean Connor Gillespie?
Connor Gillespie,
Okay,
yes.
Just wanted to make sure that you're not getting it wrong.
Connor, Colin's the guy that plays for the Miami Marlins, right? Yeah.
Is there a Carter Gillespie?
I'm sure there is.
Oh, that was the Spurs draft pick this year. Steven, impressive win from the Suns through some adversity.
Yeah, I like we just see this team have a response, whether it be to injury adversity, whether it be to adversity during a game, whether it be to both of those things, as we saw in today's game, withstood runs from the Clippers. Obviously, you saw the Jalen Green injury that took place early in the first quarter. They just find a way to get it done, and I think that's the most important part for a team that's trying to establish an identity, establish a brand of basketball in this new era. To simply win these types of games and get their first one on the road against a team with expectations says a lot about where they are right now.
Well, this is the Clippers' 4th loss in a row. And Espo, when you have these 2-game sets against a team and it's a home and home, it's really hard to beat them a second time. And James Harden was on the court this time for them. Obviously, the Suns got Dillon Brooks back and Jalen Green back for 7 minutes. But usually when you have these 2-game sets, you don't see teams win 2 in a row unless they really are just the better team.
Yeah, and you also usually see it get chippy. And we saw that tonight as well, that this was definitely 2 teams that probably are tired of playing each other right now. Mm-hmm. This is the 3rd time they've played in the first 10. This is back-to-back games. But yeah, you're right. It is very difficult to win twice in a row against the same team. And they pulled it off. And this wasn't an easy one. Not only do you take the emotional hit with the Jalen Green injury in the first quarter, but then you also, they come back and they push you and push you throughout that second half. And you bent, but you didn't break. And you found ways to continue to make shots and play good enough defense to get the win tonight.
KS4 in the chat, just want to answer this real quick, says, guys, is a diehard membership different from MVP? I got a diehard, but not sure the difference. 1, thank you for being a diehard. 2, yes, it is different. If you notice KS4 in the chat, anybody with a green name and a badge next to their name, they are YouTube members or MVPs of this channel. For $5 a month, you get a prepaid super chat every month that you are a member. Plus, you get access to exclusive emojis, including our SMW, Suns Must Win emoji, and you get access to exclusive videos and exclusive video breakdowns from Steven and his film sessions. Diehards should also have some access to some extra ones as well. So they are different, but they don't do the same thing. So if you want to be both and support the channel, you get plenty of value from both of them. We appreciate you being here and being a diehard KS4. So when it comes to the Suns winning tonight, one of the things that really stood out to me, Steven, was so many people contributed. The Suns had 6 players get into double figures, 4 of the starters, and of course Jalen Green being the one that didn't, and then 2 guys off of the bench in Colin Gillespie and Royce O'Neal. It does feel like if the Suns are going to continue to win and sustain winning ways without their second best player in Jalen Green, it's going to be a team effort.
It is going to be that, and it starts with the defensive end. When they get an opportunity to play off so many stops in the ways in which they did in pockets of today's game, that allows for them to get into the flow and the tempo that they want to play at. And when they're able to do that, that's when the ball is moving, whether it's off of double teams or just generally off of getting it to the next person and then them making a quick decision from there. If you just kind of think back, how many of those instances did we see lead to what it is they desire most, a catch and shoot three-point opportunity? It felt like everybody had a hand in both setting that and being the recipient of everybody kind of staying aligned with that in today's game.
Yeah, you always have such a great way of just breaking it down and making it so simple. I got to say that.
Thank you.
You do it so well.
Thank you.
What did you think about the defense, Espo?
I thought that there were a lot of lapses. In particular, Devin Booker had a few of them. There was the one late where Dunn, he kind of bailed through the lane. Booker kind of cheated off of him, and Dunn is heady enough to know, I'm going to fake him going to the corner, just drift back to the hoop. He got the easy bucket. There were those mental lapses on the defensive side at times in that second half, like we saw early in the season, and that concerns me a little bit, but they also tightened the screws at the end, cleaned it up, and they ballooned that lead back up. So I think this team will have some of those lapses throughout the season. Hopefully they don't come at too many key times.
Well, I think most teams are going to have defensive lapses at some points. I think what I really appreciate about it is that sometimes, okay, maybe 2 possessions in a row, but it doesn't feel like it continually compounds. Even when the Clippers were going on a run, there were a couple of times where it was, okay, Suns defense, maybe a little bit lazy, missed a switch, some guy blew by Devin Booker on a backdoor cut, but also they were just making tough shots. Bend don't break, I think, is a really good way to describe this team on both sides of it, whether they're down 20 or they're up 20 or wherever it is. If it's a 5-point game, if a team goes on a run against them, it never feels like they really let that take them out of it. And that is a mentality thing. And we talk about it, Steven. Defense, it can come down to, okay, what are your physical traits? Do you have a plus wingspan? Are you athletic? But at the end of the day, mentality is the number one thing that matters when it comes to playing defense on an NBA court, because you see guys like Colin and Grayson at least putting that effort in and that mentality in, and they can be plus defenders on a lot of possessions.
Yeah, it does. It also helps when you have guys that are setting such a good tone at the point of attack. Obviously, you start with Ryan Dunn there, even though he's not literally starting for the team the last couple of games. When he comes in, he's been impacting the ball, and it feels like we're seeing some of the best version of Ryan that we've seen in a sustained manner through these first 10 games. It's been with some lows, but it feels like he's struck a balance between the lows and highs more often than he did last season. Naturally, that could be a little bit with the pieces that are around him. I think it's more so just role clarity and the buy-in into the role that he's been sold by Jordan Ott and company. You go from him, though. Colin Gillespie's been doing a sensational job at the point of attack. Grayson Allen's been getting after it when neither one of those 2 guys are on the floor. And then the last one for me, Jordan Goodwin, one of the highest-ranked blue-collar guys for me going into the season. He comes into the game, he might miss some shots. He might take some shots that you maybe would like to see him take an extra pass with. He also is going to knock down a couple of them. But more than anything, he's going to set a tone for your defense, whether he's at the point of attack or if he's guarding someone else that's off the ball, like someone like Bradley Beal.
And that's why he's going to continue to get minutes. And that's why he was the last guy to make it on the roster, because he can do that. And that's what you need more than anything with this group, is to have a continued defensive hustle, because it's that grit, it's that extra effort that's going to make the difference for this team and can make up for some of those defensive lapses that you see. But the biggest thing they overcame tonight, I think, that they could have easily fallen apart with was those bad calls that happened, right?
Yeah.
As much as the Clippers coming back could have thrown you off your game, I think that those 2 egregious calls on offensive fouls, the couple non-calls, like those things could have really derailed you, and they held their mental toughness throughout it. They bounced back from it. They did not fall apart because of it. And a bad team would have let that completely take them out of a game and then used it as an excuse after as to why they lost.
Yeah, let me just say this first and foremost. Ferk the roofs.
Yes, Ferk the
I mean,
roofs.
I tweeted this, and I get that anybody who's not a Suns fan will be like, well, it's just another team complaining about the refs. This season has been egregious, and the way that Devin Booker has been officiated for his entire career is just downright absurd. It's downright, like, the amount of times that you see Devin Booker go up against another player, either another star or somebody who is clearly a couple rungs below him, Austin Reeves, and to see the whistle that they get on a consistent basis, and then to watch Devin Booker play every single night like all of us have for his entire career, and to see how he's perpetually treated by the referees, it sounds whiny. It sounds complainy. Watch the games. It is jarring how they treat this guy like he is not somebody who's led a team to the finals, been a first-team All-NBAer, multiple-time All-Star, and is one of the best players in the league. This guy, Derrick Jones Jr., who I love Derrick Jones Jr., jumps on top of Devin Booker, and they go, okay, foul on Book. Devin Booker does a James Harden special. They give him a technical foul. Right? It's over and over again, not just this game, where Devin Booker gets no respect at all. And some people say, oh, it's because he talks to the refs. Everybody talks to the refs. Luka, Harden, LeBron, like all of them talk to the refs. Devin Booker, I don't get it. He gets a G League whistle. It's insane.
I think it's because he's on the Suns. This has been a perpetual thing with Sun stars. You don't get the whistle in most cases. The fact that an Austin Reeves gets it is because he's in a Lakers uniform.
Sure.
And, I hate to act like that, but that's just the truth. There is inherent bias in terms of things, and it's not necessarily bias that they're aware of. I just think it happens because of different factors. In this case, yeah, the home team gets a more favorable whistle at times, but it was egregious tonight in so many ways, and there were a couple things that went in the Clippers' favor, not just Devin Booker things that you're like, okay,
I mean,
come on,
Grayson got
guys.
killed, Steven. Like literally, Grayson fell flat on his back.
Mark Williams got hit across the head when he made a bucket late in the game too.
And last game, Mark Williams got clobbered, and there was no call. I mean, look, I know that sometimes people use it as a scapegoat, Steven, but you watch a lot of basketball. Is it not just kind of insane, at least on the book side of things, if not the entire team?
Yeah, on the book side, I've tried to reason with the officiating, but at times it gets a little ridiculous, especially for one of the better talents, especially in the scoring department in particular in the entire league. And he's getting hit to an extent that if other guys got even half of, it feels like they would have been to the line double the amount of times that he did in tonight's game. And he only got there 5 times today, so not even leading his own team in free throw attempts. So it's tough, but again, it goes back to the mental fortitude part of the team, and I think it stems from Devin, because if he allowed for that to get out of control with him individually, it's something that permeates from the top, and now everybody else is off for the game. But because he gave it this moment, and then the moment moved on to the next play. And I feel like that's why they come away with the win comfortably the way that they did tonight.
Well, that moment is going to be our play of the night. It's time for Love the Play, brought to you by our friends over at Arizona Lottery. Play and gift today if you're 21 and over. You know, in a game where the Suns won pretty convincingly over the Clippers, there was some crazy shots from Grayson Allen and from Devin Booker. My favorite play was when Devin Booker turned to the ESPN crew, who was in the middle of saying Connor Gillespie, and just said, no respect. No respect. And to me, like, you don't want a guy crashing out over this type of stuff, but you don't want him just to say nothing. It's the same thing with coaches. Sometimes coach needs to throw a chair, right? Not actually, but they need to get a tech and step up.
Yeah, what are you, 40 years?
No, 40 years. Like, sometimes you need your coach to
coaches?
step up. Like with Book, you got to feel for the guy, right? Because he watches basketball, he knows. And to be able to be as good as he is and to know how many other guys aren't as good that get treatment, that are stars, he really does get no respect. And you know what? I'm glad that he made a little moment out of it and highlighted it.
But that's the way he has to deal with it, right? You have to kind of laugh at it and make a joke of it at that point, because if you carry that, if you just continually get frustrated and hold that in, it's going to cause all sorts of issues. And luckily, in most cases, he doesn't let that get to him, and especially in the big moments. So that's good.
Well, that's not the only moment we'll talk about tonight. We've got a lot to get into on the PHNX Suns postgame show. Who's our dude of the night? Who's our blue-collar boy of the night? We'll take a look at the numbers, and yes, we will get into the inevitable and talk about Jalen Green's brutal first quarter injury. We're going to do it all on PHNX Suns postgame show presented by Bet365 after this break. Look, it's basketball season, and no matter who's playing for the Suns, I always want to catch the games in person. And the way with this team and how they're playing, it is a treat to watch them play. And tickets on Game Time are cheaper than they've ever been for Phoenix Suns games. And guess what? If you find a place that has them cheaper, Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. I am notoriously cheap, and I have tried to find cheaper tickets than Game Time for a variety of events, and I can never do it. But if you can, they'll give you 110% of the difference. They'll also make sure all the fees are included in the pricing before you check out, so you know what you're going to be spending. You can get a view from your seat as well, and they have ticket coverage with the most flexible customer service policy in the ticketing industry. Take the guesswork out of buying Phoenix Suns tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code PHNX for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply, but again, create an account and redeem code PHNX for $20 off. Swipe, tap, ticket, go. Download the Game Time app today.
Most of the holiday gifts, they're going to wind up in a drawer, right? You get things and you're like, yeah, it's nice, thank you. You show your appreciation and then you never use it. But what Mint Mobile's offering isn't something that you're just not going to use. Right now, they're offering unlimited premium wireless for just $15 a month. It's the ultimate gift this holiday season. It's their best deal of the year, aka the only holiday gift you'll actually use every single day, because we know everybody uses their cell phone way too much. I don't even want to see what your screen time app says there, Steven. I think it's 23 and a half hours is what I'm guessing.
23 and 3/4.
Oh, wow. That's impressive. That's impressive. You got to get that fourth that you sleep there, though, of an hour.
Correct.
So with Mint Mobile's best deal, you can get 3, 6, or 12-month unlimited plans for $15 a month. All Mint Mobile plans come with high-speed data and unlimited talk and text on the nation's largest 5G network. So don't get them socks. Get them premium wireless for $15. Shop Mint Mobile plans at mintmobile.com/suns. That's mintmobile.com/suns. Limited time offer, upfront payment of $45 for 3 months, $90 for 6 months, or $180 for 12-month plan required. Taxes and fees extra. Initial plan term only. 35 gigabytes after 35 gigabytes may slow when network is busy. Capable device required. Availability, speed, and coverage varies. See mintmobile.com for details. Okay.
Woo! Take a breath, Espo. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button, everybody, as we settle in.
We settle like goal. What do we
200?
250.
I was about to say, we got to up that.
250.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. I tried to go easy.
First road
I tried to
win.
go easy on y'all because I don't know if you could do it.
First road win? No.
I don't know if they could do it.
We don't do that.
I don't know if they could do it. I don't know.
We don't.
I don't know if they
These people
can
can do it, and they can do it in the next 25 minutes.
Quite literally, we could just get it done right now. There are more than enough of you in chat to hit that like goal instantly. I'm liking the video right now. Y'all need to like the video right now as well. And make sure, if you want to be a more informed Arizona sports fan, to check out our daily newsletter delivered to your inbox at 6 o'clock every single weekday morning. Espo, we appreciate everything that Pat Brown had done with us with the PHNX Sports Daily. Now Alex DiAgostino is doing it, and he's killing it.
Yeah, I mean, I said, look, we need a good Italian kid to be writing the newsletter. It's just the way I view things. And he's been taking care of business over the last week. He's done great work for us on the Cardinals all season. You're going to enjoy it, all right? Just like whoever's going to get that gifted
Chris
subscription
does. Yes,
that
go,
Kara
Chris.
made. Yeah,
Yes,
Chris is
sir.
going
OG
to enjoy
Chris.
that. So,
Shout out Kara.
check out the newsletter. And, thank you, Kara.
Yeah, Kara doing what Bees has done the last couple of shows.
You know what that is?
An assist.
MVP.
MVP. MVP.
MVP. Shout out Kara. We appreciate you.
Big shout out to Chris, too. Chris has been around for a long time and definitely deserving of a membership. Of course, everybody in chat is deserving of one, but it's been nice to see some OGs like Sean and Chris be able to get some as well. So big shout out to Chris, big shout out to Kara. And remember, if you want to turn on being able to receive gift memberships, just go up in chat right under the gift memberships. There should be an option from YouTube to do that because we want to gift you those memberships as well.
Yeah, I lied in that ad. That's the gift you want for Christmas. It was the second
big facts.
gift.
Well, we were chanting MVP for the chat. What about our MVP of the night? Our dude of the night presented by Gila River Resorts and Casinos. You do you at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. Visit playatgila.com for more details. He didn't get the first regular season triple-double of his career, but we're still going to give it to Devin Booker. 21 points, 10 rebounds, 9 assists. Espo.
See, this pass that he's throwing in the image, Steven missed the shot on
it.
No. So that's where you didn't get that.
Nope.
Actually, on the screen, it actually looks like I missed it based on it. So, yeah, that reads right.
Either way, in 38 minutes tonight, it was not the prettiest game from Book, Steven, but still very effective. And when maybe his shot isn't falling as often as you would like, 8 of 19 from the field, which is 42%, not terrible, but he didn't hit a 3 tonight. To still be able to go out there and grab 10 rebounds is impressive.
It is. I continue to be impressed by his playmaking and the level that he's sustaining at. It's not one night it's just slightly above league average, and then the next 2 nights he's at an elite level, and then it kind of goes back down. It's sustaining at like a top 15 type playmaker in the league level, and we put that in tandem with someone who also could very easily be top 10, top 8 scorer on any given night when his 3 ball is falling and he's getting a blend of threes and free throws and tandem with the midi. That's a lot to deal with. And I think, again, he had the right approach and process today. Very patient, allow for the coverages that they're going to cycle through against him to come, whether it's drop coverage, whether he gets an outright blitz, whether it's a switch and double. He's just having a specific type of intention with the way that he's operating. And what it's doing is setting the table for everybody else to be successful in tandem with them doing what he's doing.
And to be fair, the refs did take away essentially 5 points.
Yeah.
Because it was going to be an end one. Then he was going to get 2 free throws that those went the other way on him. So, but yeah, his playmaking's been great. I think tonight with the injury, it kind of changed the offense mid-flow, which then I think kind of threw Devin off there for a little bit in terms of his shooting. But it's hilarious to me, in kind of a sad way, that he keeps getting to the doorstep of that triple-double.
Brutal.
And then it just does not go his way. Like, he found guys after that 9th assist with wide open looks who just couldn't convert on multiple occasions tonight for that 10th assist. So eventually he'll break through on that. Probably not. He'd probably be the first to admit, probably not his most efficient game tonight, but still, that doing a little of everything helped them weather that storm and win the game.
Stefan Bogdanovic says, good morning from Serbia. We were amazing. Definitely a good performance from this team overall. Not just our dude of the night, but we've got to talk about our blue collar boy.
I gotta know, is Stefan related to Bogdan?
I mean, if he is, then he wasn't happy with the playing time that Bogey got tonight, unfortunately. Bogdan Bogdanovic is not our blue-collar boy of the night, but it's our guy coming off the bench, Colin Gillespie. Colin has had himself one hell of a season tonight in 27 minutes, 13 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists. He was 4 of 10 from the 3. Those were all of his made field goals on the night. He's also doing things off the bench that only one other player in NBA history has done. Through 10 games, Colin Gillespie has 100-plus points, 50-plus assists, and 25-plus three-pointers made. Only the second player in NBA history to reach those numbers off the bench. Steven, I think he is a 6th man of the year candidate. I think he's been an absolute godsend to this Suns team off the bench, and just quite frankly, he's a hooper.
He is. I want to start with his defense when they're pressing teams. So after a made basket more often than not, or after a timeout, sometimes after a miss, depending on where the miss comes from and where he is in relation to it, the way he's setting the tone for the defensive possession to come, in terms of volume of possessions where he started it picking up guys on the other side of the court, he's like, I think, top 12 last time I checked in terms of how often and how frequently he's done that. That's setting the tone, and him obviously getting into activity from that or allowing for his teammates to do so. It's really helped their defense turn multiple corners the last week and a half now. So I want to start there because that is not easy to be picking up elite-level guards with no help around you for 40 to 50 feet, and you have to control the tempo of the possession from the defensive perspective there. Really good. He's been elite at that. And then the other side of it, naturally to the offensive side, 48.6% on catch and shoot threes coming into tonight. And that was on about four and some change of attempts on average a game. That's in tandem with the playmaking, just going to get a paint touch, making good decisions, playing off of 2 feet in the paint. I genuinely don't think you can ask for him to have done more for this team through these first 10 games.
No, I think he's already won the Marley Hustle Award. Now he's got to try to.
He's gonna have to.
Grayson Allen's got some comp, man.
That's gonna be a
Ryan
fun
Dunn,
race.
Grayson Allen, Colin
That's
Gillespie.
gonna be a fun race for sure.
I look at it and I think it's over. We can hand him the trophy, but he deserves to be our blue Connor boy tonight because he was unbelievable. Hitting those Connor 3-pointers, like everything that he was doing was spectacular. Do you know those 4 3-pointers he had in the first half? Where it was tied his career high in 3-point shooting in a game. Yeah. Those 4 minutes. Yeah. Now that came at a time where they needed a lift offensively because obviously the injury to Jalen, and it came at the right time to give them kind of that juice that they needed. Was quiet the rest of the way from an offensive perspective, at least from scoring, but picked it up on the other side of things as well. So.
Sean Peck in the chat says that needs to be his nickname, Blue Collar Connor. That's his alter ego.
That's the villain.
This alter ego is Villain
Jr. So Connor's Villain Jr. So here's the thing, right? When you look back to last season, when Colin or Connor was showing these flashes, it's like how J.J. McCarthy calls himself 9. It's like we can call Colin Gillespie Connor when he really locks in. When he played the Clippers, right? It's the Clippers game last year where you really look at him sparking that fourth quarter comeback. He gets in these modes. You saw it against the Warriors where it's 6 points in 10 seconds, right? Or you saw it tonight where it was 3 after 3 after 3. It's not only timely, but it's so impressive that he gets in these modes where he's just hitting deep from 3 and he's so confident. That is just a type of player that's so rare. And when you look at some of the most effective bench players in NBA history, like some guys that have played for the Los Angeles Clippers, one of their best attributes was when they got on a heater, they just went. And Colin Gillespie's the kind of guy where if he hits 1-3 on one possession, when you come back down the court, you better stick next to him because he's going to take and most of the time make another one.
Yeah, you need a guy that has no conscience. I mean, that's what it comes down to with bench scoring. Eddie Johnson was that kind of guy. Jamal Crawford, when he was a 6th man, was that kind of guy. Lou Williams, that's the mindset that you do want. Now, you don't want them to go crazy with it, but you need them when they hit those hot streaks to shoot like that. And Connor, Colin, whatever we want to call him, definitely has it. So
my favorite part about all of this, especially on the
I know it's hard now, right?
on the Colin conversation that we're having, Jordan Knott spoke to Colin early in the season, maybe after game 2, I think, at practice, and he was saying, one of his biggest challenges for Colin is that he wants him to take more shots. The game is presenting him with opportunity, and Colin is hyper fixated on playing the game the right way, especially as a floor general, wanting to tend to those qualities first. But Jordan said he thinks the way that this team is going to be the best version of itself, especially in reserve units, is when he's being aggressive with his shot first, finding those pull-up pockets, not hesitating off the catch and shoots, going to get paint touches and then playing off of 2 feet from there. I really feel like these last maybe 6 or 7 games, He's found that blend, and those reserve units have hit very different. That fire department, they've been kind of answering some fires and setting some of their own these last couple of weeks.
4 assists for him tonight. Brian Davis in the chat says, Gillespie gets a little too trigger happy. Would like to see him penetrate and dish a little bit more. See, I disagree with you because I actually think the penetration and dishing is something that he's done really well. He had a great pass that he found Nick Richards on. I think he had a couple more that didn't get converted. Colin's one of the best playmakers on this team. And sure, can he get a little bit better? And is he afraid to take a shot? No. I've never felt like he hasn't had that good feel to when he needs to dump off a pass or move the ball. You need somebody to take shots off the bench. Adding Royce O'Neal in there is great, but you need a guard to do it, especially now that Jalen Green's likely going to be out for a while. Colin being there is just massive for this team.
Yeah, you might wind up having Royce right back in that starting lineup.
Yeah.
So you're going to
start
need
the second half.
Yeah, you're going to need Colin even more with that group, and he's been fairly consistent. I mean, the one-off game, but overall, you want to see that. And you're right, he does do those other things well. But if he's hitting, just keep pulling. I don't need you to go away from it if you're getting open looks. Now, if you're double teamed and crap and you're pulling from 30, yeah, let's have a conversation. But I think I don't have a problem with the way he pulled tonight.
There are a lot of players I think deserve some flowers, and some guys that I'm sitting here 30 minutes into the show that I'm like, man, we got to talk about them. And we are going to, and we'll get to the numbers. And I promise, I see all your super chats. I appreciate all your super chats. We will also get to your super chats after our second break.
Also, Michael.
Also, Michael.
I'll go if my gym was open, but it's associated with the city of LA, and I'm not.
Look, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365, especially in NBA games. It's never ordinary. I love rolling with a same game parlay. That is my betting of choice. I love going through and saying, what do I think the Suns are going to do today? And you can get a Bet365 same game parlay boost. You can also get it for an early payout offer on football. You can get same game parlay Sundays in the NFL as well. But it's not just basketball. It's not just football. They have everything over at Bet365. And right now, new customers get $200 in bonus bets when you bet $5 win or lose. Sign up, use code PHNX365, deposit 10, place a bet for $5 and get $200 in bonus bets if your bet wins or loses. Bonus bets can be used on the spread, total, player props, futures, and more. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. You must be 21 plus and physically located in Arizona. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP, text NEXT-STEP to 53342, or visit promgambling.az.gov.
Did you put them at 1.5 speed over there again, Freckle Mamba? Rally House is the go-to spot to shop for all your favorite Arizona sports team needs. You looking for a jersey? You looking for a hat? You looking for just a shirt? Or hell, you looking for sunscreen? They got it all at Rally House. They got Suns, Cardinals, Diamondbacks. They had Coyotes the last time I was in there. ASU, U of A, NAU, whatever you're looking for, they got it. It is like a wonderland for Valley sports fans when you walk in there. It is breathtaking for those of us that like to own more merch than anything else than we own in our lives. It is fantastic. Eric and I probably could have dueling closets.
It's a problem,
and our closets look like Rally House, to be quite frank, because they got everything that you could want, and they carry only Arizona sports teams. So you want to visit a Rally House in Tempe, Mesa, or Glendale today. Find your local Rally House location and shop their entire product assortment online at rallyhouse.com today. And yes, to Hidden Sun Village, I did pay a witch to break the curse, and I want my $20 back because I don't believe that was a witch. I think those were fake credentials that you showed me.
Yeah, definitely fake credentials from the witch. Not fake from the chat, though. We're about halfway to our like goal. I believe that we can get there, folks. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Taryn, it's nice to see you in here saying that you're listening live. Of course, we got Sean, Aaliyah, another Sean, Sandman, MC Hammer, Deborah, Brian Davis, Oh For Sure, and so many more that I don't have the time to name here, but every single one of you, we deeply appreciate you spending your late Saturday night with PHNX Suns as the Suns pick up their 4th win in the last 5 games, their first road win of the season, 114-103. Can we take a second and can we just clap it up? Can you just clap it up? Clap it up with me. Clap it up. Come on. That round of applause is for Dillon Brooks, who took less than 30 seconds to be an absolute menace on the court tonight against James Harden, getting in his head and also dropping 16 points in 28 minutes. I missed him.
To be fair, Dillon knows that James Harden likes a good lap dance, so he was right up in there all game.
Oh,
all right. I mean, he was there and he was active tonight, and
the
he
snatch
was
attack. Dillon Brooks had the snatch
call
attack
Hey,
today.
where's the two shot, my man? Jesus Christ.
We got a one shot on Steven.
I don't think I've
Yo,
ever seen that one.
yo.
Put it over to him. Put it over to
Yo,
him.
man,
Give it
what's
to him.
going
Give it to
on?
him.
Look, though, I mean, Dillon does Dillon things, and for as good as you get with what he can do on the point of attack with the best player on another team, you also get him headbutting a basketball that gets you a technical for delay a
that's
game.
tough.
It's the good and bad of Dillon Brooks. It's the highs, it's the lows. It's what you have to deal with. It's just like getting a technical on the bench when you're not playing, wearing sunglasses, shooting your mouth off. Like, that's going to happen with Dillon Brooks, but you got to love what he's able to do against the best players and getting in their head.
Yeah, it's just like the guys that can go on heaters that can also sometimes maybe shoot you out of a game.
Mm-hmm.
You can't get the going on the heater that puts you over the top or brings you back in the game without having some of those moments. As long as he's being himself, obviously they're going to try to streamline some of that and make it where it's not working against the team. And we've seen subtle instances of that latter part in the last couple of games. But for the most part, he's been a major positive on the intangible side for them in ways in which you desired, also in ways in which you just quite literally did not have that preceded him with last season's team.
Two things. One, delay a game aside, the headbutt, objectively hilarious.
Oh, it was hilarious. But no, that was not a delay of game on Williams. That was certainly a delay of game on Dillon Brooks for headbutting the ball into the stands.
Two, without looking at your devices, do you guys know how many shots Dillon Brooks took tonight?
9.
I know he took 7 free throw attempts.
He did.
He was at, 13 field goal attempts?
4 of 6 from the field and 2 of 3 from three from Dillon Brooks in 28 minutes. Now, of course, the fouls definitely play into that. Got fouled on a three-pointer and a couple other shots there early. I thought he did a wonderful job today, especially in the minutes without Jalen Green, which was a majority of them, of letting the game come to him. He was extremely efficient on his shots, played great defense with 2 steals, and still outscored James Harden tonight, who had 13 points, and Dillon Brooks had 16 points. I think this was a wonderful game from Dillon Brooks, maybe his best game as a Phoenix Sun just from efficiency perspective.
Oh, 100%.
And the defense that he was able to play as well, and his impact in returning to this team with a Mark Williams starting, who we also need to give flowers to. 19 points and 6 rebounds in 29 minutes for Mark Williams, nearing that 30-minute mark for the second time this season. I think that tandem at your 4 and your 5, as much as it sucks that they're missing Jalen Green, which, again, we will talk about here in a minute, that is a really good offensive and defensive tandem. And if Brooks can scale down on the shots but scale up on the efficiency from the first 3 games of the season, I mean, what a wonderful power forward center combo for you to run with Devin Booker and Grayson Allen and presumably Royce O'Neal in the starting lineup.
Well, and he sets the attitude too, and brings an edge, which then raises that for everybody else on the court as well. It's one of those fantastic intangibles that he's going to bring to the table. He's going to have to take more shots now.
Now,
You're not going to be able to get away with 6, but you do hope that the efficiency's higher for sure. And then Mark Williams, if I told you had 6 rebounds, you probably would have thought the Suns lost the rebound battle, right? But they didn't. They won at 42-27.
That's the Devin Booker effect.
But I mean, it was effective rebounding across the board. But I liked what I saw offensively, that Mark got it going, made a lot of those shots that he missed in the first game against the Clippers the other night. So this was a nice performance by both of them.
Yeah, Mark's temperament has been good for me. I still think they're working through finding him in the pockets and pick and roll that their offensive process is kind of presenting. It's not the most traditional in the sense of they have a lot of movement going on. That movement confuses the help defenders, but he kind of can get lost in the weeds when he's screening and rolling to the basket because other guys that movement that they're playing with is like weighing on the help defenders. So they have to do a better job of finding him. I genuinely, once they get to that point, I don't see a reason why he can't be averaging 17 and 11 for this team, even on the 24 to 25 minutes that he's been playing. But on the back to the Dillon Brooks side of it all, that guy just understands how to impact the game. And I think that part can't be overstated because it's not just about putting the ball in the basket for him. He knows what buttons to press at certain times that it's not something you can really teach.
Mm-hmm.
It's something that you just have to have a feel for. And it's kind of like a playmaker in a sense, making a play that doesn't involve him actually having the ball in his hands.
I think one of the big glaring points of this guy's not used to getting the ball when he's open was when Royce hit him, when he was wide open cutting on the baseline and it went through his hands because he wasn't ready. But you mentioned the rebounding battle.
That was with Mark.
That was with Mark. You mentioned the rebounding battle. Let's go ahead and take a look at the rest of the numbers presented by Desert Financial Credit Union, Arizona's #1 credit union, named by Forbes. Of course, the most important number, the Suns do pick up the road victory, 114-103, their first of the season. But Steven, the rest of the numbers for the Suns still look pretty damn good.
Yeah, they do. I start with a 30 assist on 40 made field goals.
Wow.
That's what you want. They are now 4-1 when they get to 27 or more assists this season. And the one game they lost was the overtime game against the Utah Jazz. So when you talk about trying to find some of their routes to success, some of their proof of concept through these first 10 games, one of the most important ones is the ball movement. When they're moving the ball like that, they typically get good results. In tandem with the 40 field goals made, 15 of 38 from three. And I would probably say they got up 23 to 24 catch and shoot threes. That's a very good process game for them on the offensive end. A lot of paint touches, some of it playing off of Devin Booker, but just generally them understanding how it is they need to operate to be the best version of themselves and doubling down into that.
13 offensive rebounds tonight, too, which it was important. Only 5 for the Clippers as well. So getting those extra looks, sure, you didn't shoot as well as the Clippers overall, but you generated those second attempts on it, and then you hit more threes. That you're always going to win when you're able to pull that off.
Yeah. Joseph in the chat asked, what were the stocks? 9 steals to 5 steals in favor of the Suns, 2 blocks to 5 blocks in favor of the Clippers. So 11 to 10 technically, but steals, massive advantage for the Suns. Blocks, pretty big advantage for the Clippers.
Real quick.
Yeah.
Can you pull that up one more time for me real quick? So the other number I want to look at, 83 to 77 on field goal attempts. That goes right back to the number that you spoke to, Espo, with them winning the offensive rebounding margin. You get those extra shots on goal in tandem with controlling the tempo of play for the most part in it. That's a formula for success for them. They won the possession battle, which is something Jordan Knott has emphasized since day one with his introductory to the media. And they were very much aligned with that in today's game.
Yeah, and you know what else they've been doing is they've actually been winning the free throw battle too, which they weren't early on in the season. And tonight, not only did they get to the free throw line more times, but the Clippers missed 7 of them. So, and the Suns converted at a much higher rate. So those are the little things, again, that lead to wins for this team, where early on in that 1-4 start, they weren't doing those little things well. Since they've gone on this 4-1 run, they've cleaned that up, and they've actually been a big reason why they've been able to win.
Can you say that the win streak again? The last 5 games, Espo?
They're 4-1.
They're 4-1. When this team dropped to 1-4, it was a lot of, wow, they were so close. They were so close. Give it some time, maybe they'll figure it out, right? A lot of these small margins that we're talking about and continuing to figure them out without Jalen Green, for a lot of teams, it's not until you get into late November, December, January, sometimes post All-Star break, that you start to tweak and fix some of the things that you need to tweak and fix. One of the things that I love about this 4-1 stretch isn't just the fact that they've won 4 out of their last 5 games. It's that they've done it in a variety of different ways and that they've also done it on the margins. different guys have stepped up over the 5 games, different margins they've won, but at the end of the day, they are finding ways to win. And that is what good teams do. This team's 510 games into the season, and Jalen Green has played 30 minutes. Dillon Brooks played his 4th game today. That is very impressive.
Well, and one of those things that they've done is we looked at the second half defense. Remember early on, and they were giving up 70 points in the first half. Then you looked at what they did defensively in the second half, and you're like, oh, there's some top 10 categories that they're here with, including defensive rating. It's now evened out where they're playing much better defense in that first half too. Mm-hmm. And I think this is all a testament to Jordan Ott, who's watching these things, making those adjustments, finding different strategies to win. The way they played against Wemby and the Spurs is significantly different than the way that they played to win against the Clippers. Like, this is all a testament to a young coach coming in with some fresh ideas, but most importantly, getting the buy-in from all these players, including, vets like Dillon Brooks and Devin Booker and Grayson Allen and Royce O'Neal. Like, they've done this in large part because of Coach Ott.
And to that point, I can't remember if it was the first half or the second half, but some of the defensive decision-making moments that they're having in terms of the timing of when they're getting into certain things with help or sending double teams in certain pockets, it's been sharp. And I think some of that is a little bit of just learning as you get in tandem with other guys and you kind of understand what opponents are trying to do. There was a play, I can't remember when it was, but Mark Williams gets switched onto James Harden late after an action happens. It kind of strings him out to the corner. Next to Mark Williams is Devin Booker with Chris Dunn. Not a three-point shooter. If he's shooting threes, you shake their hand and you go get the rebound. He double teams off of him, and that sends the rest of their offensive possession off script. And I think Mark Williams ends up getting it back from Devin on the other end of the floor for like a floater. I think it ended up being in the first half. It's those little sequences like that they're stringing together and they're stacking across multiple possessions. That's a team that's sharing an IQ. They're all thinking on the same wavelength. And I think we're seeing them kind of turn these corners defensively, especially in the half court because of that.
Man, we got a lot to get to. We've got super chats. I want to talk Grayson Allen, talk about Ryan Dunn. We've got a lot to get into on a 5-5 basketball team that's been scrappy and's been fighting, and we're going to keep being scrappy. We're going to keep fighting after our final break. Look, just to get a peek inside of my life, on my way here today, I had to stop and I had to get gas, and I knew without a doubt where I had to go. It was Circle K. Because Circle K, not only do I save so much money on gas because I'm a member of the Inner Circle and I joined for free by downloading the Circle K app, putting in my phone number, putting in my email, and boom, I was instantly saving. But they're also so convenient. I live right next to a Circle K. If I go 2 blocks down, there's another Circle K. If I get off on the freeway on the way to work, guess what? There's a Circle K right there. By the time I get to work, I pass 2 more Circle Ks in downtown Phoenix because they're everywhere. And I can go in and get a 79-cent Polar Pop or a 99-cent Froster because I'm a part of the Inner Circle, or I could do a meal deal, a $5 meal deal, 2 slices of pizza and any 20-ounce soda or Polar Pop, $4 meal deal, a Circle K breakfast sandwich, hash browns, and any 16-ounce Bang, C4, or Ghost, or medium coffee, or Polar Pop, all of it at Circle K. So join the Inner Circle for free by downloading the Circle K app today. Terms and conditions apply at participating locations. Visit CircleK.com for more details.
I swear you made up the Bang and the C4. Those aren't real.
Have you ever watched a PHNX Sun Devil show? Because that's what Anthony Totry's drinking about 95% of the time.
That actually fits perfect.
It's not dry snitching. He drinks it on camera.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh.
Mountain America Credit Union. Let's talk about this. They're the exclusive home of the Suns card. So, when Devin Booker's getting charges, you can actually charge with the.
There you go.
Look at that. See, I got Steven shaking his head. You can get charged with the Suns credit card with Mountain America Credit Union, but you can pair the Suns debit card with the MyStyle checking account to unlock extra benefits like telehealth, phone protection, loan rate discounts, and so much more. Why wouldn't you do it? It's just getting free perks for just doing what you're going to do anyways. There's no annual fee on credit cards. They're available for low rates with cashback or reward options. Mountain America is here to guide you forward on your financial journey. not backwards. They want you to go forwards, just like this Phoenix Suns team. So get your Suns card today. Apply it at any Arizona branch. Insured by NCUA. Terms and conditions and exclusions apply like everything in life. Loans on approved credit.
Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Thank you all for hanging out with us late on now a Sunday morning, Saturday night. Thank you all for being
here. We're slaving over hot microphones into the wee hours of Sunday morning. Get us to those 250 likes. It's the least you can do. I mean, this entertainment is free. The least you can do is hit that thumbs up button like it's a Lakers fan insulting you.
I didn't think we were going to need to get it to this point, but leave a like for Jalen Green's hamstring.
Wow. I mean, yeah.
You
took me on a roller coaster right there. Let's get to some super chats because that's going to come up here very soon. Let's start with Maria. Thank you so much, Maria. Always showing love with the super chats. $4.99 says, criminal the way the refs treat D Book, but proud of this team's resilience and focus to pull out this win, even with some of the obstacles they faced tonight. Yep. These first 3 are about Green, so we'll get into those two. Joshua with a $5 super chat says, look good tonight. Go Suns. Hope Green is good rather early in the season than late. And then Trevor with a $1.99 super chat says, how long do you think Green is out? This sucks. Jalen Green, after 7 minutes into this game, 30 minutes into his Phoenix Suns career, exited with what looked like a very brutal hamstring injury. Instantly, all of us in the office deflated, silent. We were riding so high. The team was fully healthy. This is a gut punch, and the team still won the game. They still bounced back, but Espo, this sucks. I don't know what else to say. This really sucks.
I mean, yes, we don't know what the extent of it is. You hope that sometimes guys pull up like that because they don't want to do more. They feel something and they pull up that dramatically because it's, they know, but we don't know how long it's going to be. I'd imagine 4 to 6 weeks, but that's with the medical degree I never got. So, that's a complete and utter guess. But yeah, you got to feel bad for the guy because he had complete enthusiasm to be here. You heard how excited he was to be back, and it's heartbreaking for him and for the fans. But what I will say is we've seen this team continue to do things, without him. They've had him for essentially one game, 30 minutes in total. So I have hope because of what we've seen. And my main thing is get this right. Yeah. Don't try to rush him back. Make sure it's fully healed and make sure you know that this guy's going to be okay, because you cannot turn this into a perpetual hamstring issue like we've seen with guys. I mean, that's Kevin Johnson was one of the most explosive guards in the NBA at one time, and hamstring injuries prevented him from actually fulfilling that potential. You don't want to screw around with this. Mm-hmm. I mean, Steven, are you willing to donate a hamstring if we have to for the cause?
Yeah. I would say why, but I don't need to trigger anybody else in the chat. But yes, I would be willing to give up my hamstring for Jalen Green if he can stay healthy with it. But yeah, that's the soft tissue injuries suck, man. Yeah. Because they're hard to, and this I'm not a physical therapist in any capacity, so I don't want to overspeak my boundaries, but they're not easy to detect as far as where they are health-wise. And you also don't truly know until you put yourself back in the fire in those uncontrolled environments. So it gets really tough when you're trying to figure out and gauge when. So it's better to just kind of wait it out to wait and know that for a fact that it's good, and then potentially let him see where he's at. Well,
and that's the thing is this time they're going to be extra cautious. Even when he's good, they think everything's good to go, good to come back. Because here's the thing. People are saying, oh, he played and he wasn't good to play. Look, they're not going to let this guy play if they didn't think he was good to play. There was no reason when you watched his first game, that you're like, that guy is still dealing with anything. He looked just as explosive and just as fast and quick twitchy as he had when he's been playing 82 of 82 the last couple of seasons. He didn't come back because the fan base was pressuring them to come back. Like that type of stuff doesn't impact how organizations decide things.
Some organizations.
Some, okay.
It does
good
not
organizations.
smart organizations.
And I just don't think, I think if that was the case, he probably would have come back a couple games earlier. But I remember saying this on the show, on socials, when Jalen kept on missing game after game after game with what was originally diagnosed as right hamstring soreness at the beginning of preseason, the beginning of October, was the fact that he was missing this long, of course, lends you to believe that the hamstring injury is more serious than what we thought it was. And not concerning from the fact that he kept on missing more games now, but concerning from the fact that hamstring injuries, i.e. look at a guy like Devin Booker or other hamstring injuries across the NBA, NFL, or all sports, they linger. They come back. They bite you in the ass again, even when you feel like you're fully good and ready to go. With a guy like Jalen Green and how he plays, I would be lying to you if I said that this isn't concerning, that it already popped back up. Can he be okay? And
don't say popped.
Okay, but you get what I'm saying, right? Like, I think that you can acknowledge that this team has played well without him. I think they will be fine without him. But we just spent the last couple of days talking about how drastically their ceiling had exploded when Jalen Green's on the court. It is a little concerning that 30 minutes into, Steven, his return from a hamstring injury, not only did it seem like, okay, this happened again. Look, I'm not a doctor. I was close, but I dropped out.
Just because you went to ASU for 7 years doesn't mean you almost got a doctorate.
First of all, not 7, okay? The most prestigious journalism school in the country, thank you. But
you wound up here.
the way that it looked, and the way that his reaction was, look, it did not look good. And I personally, my gut, and again, I'm not a doctor, I wouldn't be shocked if we don't see him until January, a couple of months from now, because I don't think they play any risk and any chances. And it didn't look minor. That it wasn't like, ooh, ow, I heard it. It was, I need help getting off of the court. Like, it was serious, Steven.
Yeah. To answer the question that prompted this conversation we're having is in terms of when do we think he'll be back, I don't usually like to try to gauge injuries because I'm up here, I'm not a doctor, but that hammy probably is going to have him out until at the earliest when they return from that road trip in December. So we're talking basically the new year at that point. If it takes that long for him to be fully healthy, and I mean, no cause for concern at all, so be it.
Yeah.
Team just got to figure it out while they're operating without him as they've done prior to Thursday's game. So that's a tough bullet to bite on that front, but if you were talking about his long-term health, no different than they had a hashtag plan with Mark Williams that he's still on. If that's what you have to go with Jalen Green to get him back fully healthy, so be it.
Yeah, and we'll find out. Is it a tear? Is it a strain? Like, there's all sorts of factors that'll go into it. But the thing that he has on his side is he's 23.
Sure.
Right? And I think we all remember, me less than you guys since you're closer to 23, but at that age, you heal a hell of a lot faster than you do as you get into your late 20s, early 30s, and you don't heal at all once you get into your 40s. I can tell you that. So that's something that I feel optimistic about is his age as well in this whole thing. If this is a 30-something-year-old Royce O'Neal pulling a hamstring or tearing something, you get a little bit more concerned. I think we're probably right. I think playing it cautiously optimistic is the way to go about it. And if it's into December or late December, so be it, as long as this doesn't become a lingering thing.
Because this season isn't do or die for this team. I know they don't have their draft pick, but with Jalen Green, this is a long-term investment. It's not do or die for this team.
Mr. Suns must win meter is now like,
it's so different.
Die,
I don't even need to explain how different it is to go on a game-to-game basis and say this is a must-win. But like, you look big picture this season, this team was picked to win under 30 games. It's not like this is a team that is building for the future, right? Yes. You trade for Jalen Green, you build for the future. Nobody, including myself, says that they're trying to win a championship right now and they're built to win right now. This guy is your long-term investment, okay? You traded Kevin Durant for this guy. Obviously, come on, and Dillon Brooks, a big part of that. Jalen Green is still the highest upside piece that you have in all of that currently because of what you've actually seen him do. If you need to sit him 3 months, you sit him 3 months. If you need to sit him 4 months, you sit him 4 months. If you need to sit him the rest of the year, he's out the rest of the year.
Let's stop freaking people out, though.
No, I'm not saying they have to, but I'm just saying if the option is caution or push him to get back this year. This team is not finals bound. This team is not playoff bound. Jalen Green needs to be healthy for the long term next to Devin Booker and next to this team. That is priority number one right now, more than anything.
Of course. And to your points earlier, though, with the hamstring, you really don't know till they play again.
Sure.
So you'll be cautious. Again, we won't know anything till we know what these scans say. We probably won't know anything anyways because they will keep it play close to the vest, and we'll give you an update in 3 weeks, 4 weeks.
Yep.
The don't ask us, we'll tell you method, and they'll just have to go along and figure it out along the way. Luckily, again, they have guys that have the ability to do that.
Yeah, if you're watching on TV, just a reminder, the party always continues over at gophnx.com. It's time for overtime, but if you're on YouTube, don't go anywhere. If you're listening on audio, don't go anywhere. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. 5-star reviews on audio, and share this show with a Suns friend of yours or just a basketball fan. And let me make one thing clear. I don't think he's out for the rest of the season. That is not what I think or whatever. I'm just saying, if it gets to the point of being cautious or not, you always take the road of caution.
Share this with a KD fan, a
Please.
Rockets fan, your favorite Lakers fan. We don't care. Share it with anybody that he watches count as watches too. So
Where we at with the like goal?
Not close enough. I'll tell you that. We're at 154 likes to 250 like goals. So
this man does not believe you can do it.
No, I don't.
He doesn't.
And so far,
and I do, and Steven does.
So far, you're proving me right. I mean, look, we got over 400 people in here at 12:15 on a Sunday morning, and y'all ain't gonna hit the like button.
How many of them fell asleep with the stream on?
Well, that might be it. I think I'm too loud. I'm too loud to fall asleep listening to the show.
No, but if they did, that's responsible watching because they didn't close or
Facts.
turn off whatever device they were
if
using.
They are here. Hi guys.
That's probably gonna jar them away.
You're dreaming right now, but when you wake up, you should really just pump a bunch of money into this channel. All right? Thanks, guys.
Shameless. Okay, a couple more super chats. Speaking of pumping money into the channel, God, that makes it sound so bad. Michael Ramirez with a $9.99 super chat says Book needs to develop some thicker skin. He let the Clippers take him completely out of the game in the second half. Stop talking to the refs and lock in, Book. Suns play hard and are playing together. Do you think that he was taken out of his game, Steve?
I didn't feel it. I think he was playing with the right balance for today's game. Everybody else was hitting. He wasn't necessarily getting his shots in the rhythm that he was looking for early on. Some of it, like you mentioned, Espo, with Jalen Green having to exit because of injury. He just figured out what the team needed. The team needed more shots. And that's exactly what he manipulated for them today. He had 9 assists. If you put in tandem the 4 or 5 secondary assists that he had today and the points that he accounted for with that, 9 assists, 23 assist points. 5 of those came for threes. A couple of extra would come from secondary assists. He played the way that this game demanded for him to play in today's game, and they won.
Yeah,
because of it.
I didn't look at the shot chart. I'm just basing it off of memory, but I'm pretty sure a lot of the misses that he had came before those foul calls where it would have gotten him into his head. And in fact, I'm almost positive of that. So I don't think this was a matter of the Clippers or the refs getting his head. I don't think that's what caused it tonight.
Buddha the Schizo, always supporting. Thank you so much, Buddha. With a $4.99 super chat says, anyone else feel better about this season's 5-5 start than last season's 8-2 start, or is that just my sicko self? Buddha, as much as I would like to agree with you, and I do feel good about 5-5, I was riding so fucking high after the 8-1, 8-2 start last year. Oh, I was like, this team is everything we thought they were going to be. It was afterwards that things got shaky.
Yeah, but
I mean, it was like they won close games, and that was a problem, but I was still riding high.
But I do feel better at 5-5 right now because I felt like there was still that inherent pressure of they got to win it all, and if they don't, it's going to be a disappointment. And you kind of were just waiting for the other shoe to drop. They were already having injury issues. Here, I'm like, house money.
Sure.
Let's just have some fun with this. And, this has actually been fun basketball. So I don't think it's a sicko sell completely unless I'm there with you. And maybe I am. And maybe we're like inceptioning each other and we're multiple layers deep now.
Yeah, I think, Buddha, you're fine with having that perspective on it just by my eye because last season's team came with expectations that people weren't sure that they could meet. And it was more like a breath of fresh air that they got to that 8-1 start or 8-2 start to kind of start trying to push them into some of those hierarchy conversations. With this team, it was a blank slate, and it's been a lot of prove it. And honestly, with some people, if it wasn't prove it, they had them just severely underwhelming. So the fact that they are 5-5 is something, as a fan, that you can certainly celebrate because it's showing you that you can learn a lot about this team and that they're kind of working towards something.
I think also you add in the fact that they started 1-4 and they've gotten to 5-5.
Yep.
Good point.
Changes things. Plus, a couple close losses in that time. I think all that adds to the feeling.
You feel like this is much more sustainable than the 8-1, 8-2 start from last year. Last year it was like, okay, they're hitting some clutch shots, but they need to improve this, and this. But I'd be lying to you if I said I wasn't on top of the world at 8-1, 8-2 last year.
Like Devin Booker mentioned, I think it was at the beginning of last week. He's like, they're 1 or 2 bounces a few inches away from things being different and them being maybe 1 or 2 games above 500. He knocks down that shot that he took at the end of one of those games. That changes a lot. And similarly against the Utah Jazz, if they handle their business accordingly in that one, that's 2 games directly that they could have easily won with a different type of bounce.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, this team definitely could only have 2 to 3 losses this season. Of course, they could go the other way as well. Somebody who never misses, though, with a $5 super chat. Ayrton.
Thank God it's after midnight.
$5 from BCOM C clearly. Snatch attack. I've healed this team with this snatch. I gave Booker the Twister 5000. Don't worry, I'll work on Green. And hey, cutie legs.
What were you doing the last 8 games? I mean, you had time to work on Green.
Be calm, work ASAP, please. Work your snatch attack magic.
You had time. I'm disappointed.
What's up, Be Calm? We appreciate you.
Thank you. Okay. It is late, so make sure you hit that like button. Let's round things out here. There's 3 guys I'd really like to talk about, and we could do it relatively briefly. If that's something that we can do. Jiggle, jiggle, snatch attack. Give some flowers to Grayson Allen. Grayson Allen with another really good game. Some audacious threes. He was 4-7 from deep. That's 57% from the field and a plus 13 on the night in 31 minutes. 14 points and 3 assists. He just continues to be a really, really started player. Got the start even with a fully healthy team as Ryan Dunn stuck on the bench. But look, Jalen Green being out, yep. Colin Gillespie's got to step up. Dillon Brooks has to step up. Grayson Allen's got to keep playing how Grayson Allen's playing for this team to sustain their level of play.
Yeah, I mean that was going to be the case even with Jalen on the court. You need Grayson to play in this way. He's kind of refound himself and found some new things in his bag. That kind of slow drag that he gets that he's been doing is a nice little addition to his ability to score. Overall, Grayson has come up in a big way, and like we've talked about, it was what GM Brian Gregory told us at Media Day, and some of us were like, oh, okay, he's the guy that's going to be the surprise. Well, he's come out and done it.
Yeah, Grayson's had a very, very good season. He's been scrappy defensively. He's been impactful and on top of being scrappy on that end of the floor. And then offensively, he's operating in one of those elite three-point shooter bags, even being effective getting into some of those 1 and 2 escape dribble threes that he takes. The paint touches from him in particular are spectacular because you have to react to someone driving and getting a piece of it. And if it's him, that means that someone like Devin or someone like Royce is going to be able to play off of a catch and shoot. Unfortunately, Jalen is not around to reap the benefits of Grayson's drives, but Dillon Brooks is. That's another player that can knock down open catch and shoot three-point opportunities. Grayson continuing to just find ways to get a piece of the paint. And also just playing with a certain type of rhythm and cadence to his game is really helping this team in the half court. And his shooting prowess on top of all of that is continuing to kind of drive things for him.
Yeah, and I think Ott's system highlights his strengths so well and it highlights the strengths of a lot of these guards so well.
Mm-hmm.
I will say this. If Grayson Allen continues to play the way that he's been playing this season for the rest of the year, it's by far the best year of his career. By far.
Yeah.
So if you can get a career best year out of Grayson Allen, whether you keep him, which I know a lot more people are coming around to, or whether you trade him, that's awesome for your franchise. Dude has been the best role player in the NBA by my money. He's been great.
Also through 10 games now, or at least coming into today's game, Royce was number 1, attacking closeout still, 102. Grayson trailing right behind him, number 2 in the league at 92. So those two players playing the ways that they are is helping this team uphold the style of play that they want. And we see what they're getting because of it.
Speaking of Royce, 29 minutes off the bench, 12 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists, and 2 steals off the bench. Royce O'Neal took 8 field goals tonight. All 8 of them were from behind the line. He shot 50%. Royce O'Neal has had a consistent three-point shooting stroke. He will be back in the starting lineup, presumably, because he started the second half. But even starting this game off the bench, Espo, he's been consistent, and he's been doing the little things. Rebounds and assists have been awesome for Royce this year.
Yeah, and energy, swag. I mean, we saw it after that round and round three-pointer. He's dancing down the court, like, and even acknowledging that he got a little lucky. Like, his attitude is such a big impact as well, and didn't let it bother him that, you know, he went from starting and shooting well to then moving to the bench and essentially getting a handful of fewer looks, and he managed to be just as effective and impactful on this team.
I go back to Thursday's win against the Clippers. Fourth quarter, we talk about the unit that they had out there without Ryan Dunn and having Grayson and Royce out there with Devin and Jalen and Mark Williams. So we talk about them putting defenses in position to have to make a bad choice of someone to help off of. Tyronn Lue just decides to outright double team off of Royce O'Neal late in that game. And Royce O'Neal simply says, bet. Here's 2 or 3 threes that I'm going to knock down to put this game completely away. Same dance and skip that he did down the sideline to close today's game was the same one he did on Thursday. And then you get to tonight's game, the deciding three-pointer, I think, was the one that came from a secondary assist from Devin Booker off that switch and double we talked about. Dillon gets it over to Royce in the corner. He knocks down another one of those. He just has a good feel for the moment. And the ball just naturally has found him in particular just because of the way it's moving. And again, he's a direct recipient of them upholding the style of play that Jordan Ott wants them to play to.
I think that's the key there. What do veteran role players love? A good coach who knows how to use them, right? Grayson Allen is being put in probably the best position of his career. Royce O'Neal has been put in a fantastic position, even when he's been playing small ball 4, maybe a little bit out of position for him against some of these starting lineups. When you look at guys like that and how do you get the most out of them, telling them to just go out there and figure it out like the last coach did just doesn't work. It works a lot better for star players, but for guys like them, they suffer the most. Having a guy like Jordan Ott coach this team, orchestrate this offense, and cover up some of their weaknesses on defenses will be so great for their long-term confidence, and you see it in Royce's shooting this year.
Yeah, they're called role players for a reason. They need a role. They can't play random because that's not what they're best at. And they, to your point, Eric, Coach Ott is giving them a role. Whether they're starting or they're coming off the bench, they know what their role and what they're out there to do is. And Grayson and Colin and Royce are doing that to perfection right now for this team.
I want to give a shout out to Ronald Wheeler in the chat. Been super active all night and has been singing the praises of Ryan Dunn. 20 minutes off the bench for Ryan Dunn. Yet another off-the-bench game for him. His second in a row after starting every other game this season. 6 points, okay. 4 rebounds, an assist, and a steal. 3 of 5 from the field, but plus 10, the highest plus-minus off of the bench, the third highest in the game for Ryan Dunn. He has been everywhere defensively off the bench, and I think his impact has still been felt. Loved what I saw from him tonight, but the number I'm looking at the most, 2 personal fouls. That's got to be a career low when going up against the Clippers and James Harden.
I can't wait to go back and watch this one. Maybe tonight, probably in the morning, because it is now
the morning. It is the morning.
It is the morning, technically, you're right. But this felt like maybe the most felt his point of attack defense was. James Harden took, if you have the box score up, Eric, you want to double check it for me, 5 free throw attempts in today's game?
4.
So 4.
3 of 4 from the line for James Harden.
And one of the keys was keeping pressure on James Harden. A kind of subplot to that is also keeping him away from the free throw line where he helps to control the game. A lot of that is Ryan Dunn just simply not fouling. Applying pressure, not necessarily going for the ball, but just staying in front of the matchup. And when the ball is exposed and you can anticipate a move, then you go to make a swipe at it and you pounce on it and you get a steal. He was very, very decisive and had discernment with that decisiveness in today's game. It feels like he's learning It feels like he's applying the lessons that he's learned through almost a full season's worth of minutes playing at the point of attack against those type of guys.
So, as the official president of the Ryan Dunn fan club, are you okay with?
I'm fine.
His role?
I'm fine with it. I think he's fine with it. I don't think it's a matter of starting and coming off the bench for Ryan. I think it's just a matter of being involved and getting 20 minutes.
That's his point. He just made about the role clarity.
Sure.
And understanding and buying into it.
Again, with Ryan Dunn last year, it wasn't just the fact that he wasn't starting for the team. It was that he was playing 0 to 1 minute or one possession.
He had no idea what he was supposed to be with that team. And then he'd play serious minutes. He'd drop completely out of a rotation. No guy can play well in that kind of a situation because it's not understood who you're supposed to be for that team.
And when a guy like Jordan Ott goes to you, I keep on saying a guy like Jordan Ott, when a coach, a coach like Jordan Ott goes to you and says, hey, you're coming off the bench. If you trust everything else that you see him do and you see him get the most out of everybody else, you say, yes, sir, I got you, and you buy into it. Royce O'Neal, Ryan Dunn did that tonight. I'm fine with Ryan Dunn coming off of the bench. I think he can be a starter for this team, but quite frankly, Grayson Allen has earned it. Grayson Allen deserves to be a starter on this team. Grayson Allen has played his ass off no matter if everybody's available or half the roster is injured. Grayson Allen should be starting for this team, and he should be heavily involved. He's been much better than Ryan this season, and I'm not trying to knock Ryan. They're two completely different players. Dunn can still make a very big impact off the bench, and I think he will.
Buddha Schizo says, happy anniversary, Mrs. the Schizo. I'll go to bed once this show is over. So you know what? We're going all night.
Yeah, you don't get to go to bed.
You're not going to bed. We're going to break down the Valley Suns game next. Every Kobe Bryant shot, all 18 of them we're going to go through. We are going until the wee hours of the morning now just because of you, Buddha.
It's past Ayrton's bedtime. I don't think we could do that.
Ayrton's the youngest of all of us. A Saturday night at what? 12:30 in the morning.
I think Mr. Freckled Mamba has some responsibilities in the morning that he has to tend to. Okay, last thing.
That sounds inappropriate.
That's fair.
Jeez.
So we've talked a lot of good so far today. Oso Ighodaro. A season low, I would have to assume. I haven't double-checked this. 4 minutes tonight, 2 assists, no field goals attempted, did not play in the second half. Do we think we have seen the end of Oso Ighodaro in the Suns rotation for the time being?
Nope.
No.
And I say no because this matchup didn't necessarily warrant him playing a significant amount of minutes. This wasn't a sensational game from Nick Richards. It was decent enough in tandem with Mark Williams doing the things that he was doing with the starting unit. So this wasn't a matchup for Oso to the extent that we've seen in other matchups. I think this is, again, playing the same team 1 or 2 nights after you played them the initial time. And for the third time this season, this is Jordan Ott and his coaching staff showing the adaptability, understanding and paying attention to what's happening in a season series. No different than we saw with them in game 1 against the Utah Jazz versus game 2 against that team. Very night and day in approach. And those adjustments, people want to talk about adjustments. Those adjustments that we've seen them make have been very apt.
They will not go away from Oso Ighodaro completely until they fully believe that Kaman Malawach is ready, because you have to have 3 big men in that rotation because Nick Richards isn't going to play massive minutes for you, that he's going to be a guy that you're going to play spot minutes. You're going to need a third guy. And if they're not ready for Kaman to be that guy, then it's Oso. And I think that's the way it's going to continue to be. Now, maybe he'll only get 7-8 minutes rather than the larger amount that he was getting. But right now, he's that third rotational big.
In 4 minutes tonight, I saw Oso Ighodaro get scored on in the paint. I saw him get blown by on the perimeter. And I saw him make 2 pretty good passes. Here's the thing about Oso Ighodaro. Is he going to play more minutes for the Suns over the next couple of games? Yes. Do I think he will be a legitimate part of this rotation like he has been going forward? I don't think so. Like, I think he'll get, okay, it's either the end of the game or we're down and we need to give 2-3 minutes out there. Let's see if you could hang in there. I think as far as being in the consistent rotation, what Jordan Ott has proved is that he will give a guy a chance. And if it's not working, he's not going to play you. You want to know who was a DNP tonight? Nigel Hayes-Davis. And we love Nigel Hayes-Davis over here. We thought that he was going to be able to be a contributor for this team, and maybe down the road he can be. But it was clear after a pretty decent sample size and a pretty decently long leash that he was not able to contribute to the team, and now he's no longer getting minutes. Even when Dillon Brooks was out, he was still technically getting DNPs or being played at the end of a game when it didn't matter. I would be shocked if Oso is the first big off the bench like he was tonight. I mean, Nick Richards played 15 minutes, and he wasn't great, but he was better. And I think Coach Ott can realize that.
I mean, he may not be the first bench or big off the bench. He will still come off that bench right now, because you are not just going to go with Williams and Richards as your center, especially with Williams still on his plan and his minute restriction. You just can't feasibly make it happen. The reason that Nigel Hayes-Davis has fallen out of the rotation is because you have a wealth of 6-7 guys out there that can play, and
it's too late for this.
And that can play that wing position though. You that's where you have the most guys, where you can get away with having a guy fall out of the rotation and still be able to make up those minutes. You just don't have it at center right now. Oso's going to play again until they're ready for Kaman Malawach to play. And I'm sorry if I didn't say that loud enough the first time. I saw people saying they couldn't hear me. So there you go. Fully throated. There you go. Saying it loud.
That's overtime.
Oh my God.
After
so
dark,
anyways,
right?
I will quickly redirect that conversation.
Thank you.
I think some of what would have been the double big minutes that Oso would have got with Nick Richards might go away some with Dillon Brooks being back, because that's another one of those forwards that, not unlike Royce O'Neal, can slide at that 4 position and play next to whoever is at the 5. That's one way to kind of chip away at the volume of minutes that Oso is playing. If you're taking away at least some, if not all of those double big minutes, because I don't think we saw the double big lineup at all tonight, that's only leaving Oso with 7, 8, less than 10 for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a bad thing for them right now. Maybe he just needs a little bit of time just to watch things and kind of for them to figure out how to best feature him within the flow of everything. But it's kind of where they are right now.
It'll be interesting to see the next couple of games. New Orleans, Dallas, Indiana, Atlanta, Portland. Some games where maybe you could get away with playing Oso, and some where I don't know if you can. It will be fascinating. All I know is that I am so happy that this team is playing like they are playing. I know there are, guys like Oso that maybe haven't lived up to expectations, but overall, on like all fronts, this team has been impressive so far this year. Certainly not perfect at 5-5, but in the midst of winning 4 out of your last 5 games, only having Jalen Green for 30 minutes out of those games, I feel really good about the place that this team is in. Do you guys have any final thoughts about a 114-103 victory, or where we just stand with the Suns 10 games into the season?
No, I think they're better than after 10 games than a lot of us would have thought, and have found a rhythm and have learned their systems in a way that gives you some confidence regardless of the current injury situation. And I think that's all you can ask for in a season like this, is having some hope, having some signs of that they're going to build on, and having confidence in Coach Ott and the guys on this roster right now.
Yeah, I want to see them continue to find ways to get the ball to Mark Williams. So a lot of baseline drives or secondary drives from Ryan Dunn, and he's finding ways to get that shovel pass to him as he relocates in the dunker spot and around the restricted area. That's great. What else? Pick and roll. Yes, I know some of the reasons why they're not getting it to him is because they're getting up so many catch and shoot threes. But can you still find those pockets to get him the ball, especially, again, above the rim? I still feel like if we're talking about what can they do more, I think they can blend the catch and shoot threes and all of the paint touches to threes that they get with an occasional alley-oop opportunity for Mark. Keep him involved, because he's playing extremely well for this team, not just offensively on minimum touches, but on the less glamorous end where he's really anchoring things for them.
They need to figure out how to better throw an alley-oop pass, though, because we saw one tonight that they did, and Mark had to catch it and kind of go over his head with it. Like, that's a key to it as well.
Yeah.
Get better at throwing him those lobs and giving him a good chance to convert on them as well. But I agree, that's a whole nother wrinkle that you can still get in this offense. And all of a sudden it opens up other doors for you.
And the thing with that for me, it's like a spirit bond for my Dragon Ball Z fans out there. When
You Dragon Ball Z guy?
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
That's
a whole other conversation.
That's a little surprising.
You get for a team that had one of the lowest dunks made rankings last season. The rare occasion where they got one, it was like, oh my God. And it was more often than not, it was KD doing
Just
it last
KD.
season. Yeah, so you got somebody
Or
that
Mason Plumlee special.
the reverse. But yeah, when you
Done
have
every
someone
once in a while.
they can
Once
so
every 50 games.
when you have someone that can so consistently get to that point, you gotta feed it. You gotta lean into it because that's something that whether you're at home or on the road is gonna give you a spark. You keep your defense set, you're feeling great about yourself. And that's where I think some of the uncharted waters for the Suns in terms of production is gonna be at right now.
The first game, as far away as it seems, and it feels like it was years ago, is very representative of what this team has been this season. Fall down early, and you fight like hell to get back. And this team has continued to show fight and heart. They've been fun to watch, and they'll continue to do it without Jalen Green, and we'll continue to be here along the way. No show tomorrow. We're going to take a Sunday off if you'll let us do it, or today, I guess, technically. We'll see if there is any big news with Jalen Green. We'll have you covered here. We'll be doing a breaking news pod. Plus, you can, of course, check out at PHNX_Suns for the latest injury updates with Jalen Green. If anything serious comes of that, we'll have a show here, so make sure you tune in on this channel, be subscribed, and make sure on the way out, hit that like button. Right? We're here for you. It's an hour and a half show off of an 8:45 tip because we love it and we love y'all. So make sure you show some love back. Help us get to that like goal. Become a member today or maybe gift a membership like Kara did and got to Chris. Get access to exclusive emojis and exclusive content like Steven's breakdowns. You get a little extra every single time. And in the meantime, follow the show at PHNX_Suns on Twitter and Instagram. You can follow the Freckled Mamba behind the Mac at Freckled Mamba. You can follow Steven at Steven PG3. That is Steven with the PH, the world's biggest Dragon Ball Z fan.
I won't say that. My brother got me beat, but yeah.
The world's second biggest Dragon Ball Z fan. You can follow the world's third biggest Dragon Ball Z fan at Espo. You can follow me, the fourth biggest Dragon Ball Z fan in the world at ERIKRUBY. And as always, Ferk de Roofs.
Live from Phoenix. It was Saturday night. Ahoy, hoy.